Well, hello, folks. Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. Well, this is the radio rates and CG setup for the X-Fly T-7A 80 millimeter. All right, REDHAWK from Banana Hobby, sent to me by Banana Hobby. X-Fly is the brand. Well, let's go ahead and talk about CG right off the bat. I've got a 5000 HRB all the way forward in the battery tray. And there are CG marks directly underneath the wing. So I've got my Hobby King plane balancer directly on that CG line, and I set it the first time, and it's perfect with a 5000 straight forward. You measure from the leading edge root, or it's right here at this root, back, and it's 55, it's actually 60 millimeters back. So you go from this root and you go back. Now, that's with the gear up. And then watch, the plane will rock back just a little bit with the gear deployed, which actually just helps you with landing. Okay, she rocks back just a little bit, and then put the gear forward. Obviously it takes a little while, so you need to plan that with your approach. Okay, so now we know that CG mark is perfect with a 5000 all the way forward. So now we can take her off of the stand, off the CG stand. Now, in regards to that stand, that's at Hobby King. Once in a great while, they have it for sale. Usually they're out of stock. So check the Hobby King website often. That's the only advice I can tell you. Check it quite often, because otherwise, you just have to keep checking, and then when it's only $14.95 and worth every penny. So whenever it does come available, buy it. Now you'll have to check the CG to find those CG marks. You'll have to remove these one set of missiles because they block it, but that's no big deal. They just slide forward. All right, let's talk about. I set this up by the book, exactly the way they said to set up the linkages and the control throws. I'm not putting, see, right here. Something just dropped. Oh, tape. See right there? See the word CG marked right there? Okay, well anyways. All right. So that's where the CG, I'll now show you what that translates to with the battery. I've got the 5000 in the battery compartment, and I've got it minus the room for the wires all the way forward. So now I don't need to really mark it, because I know a 5000 all the way forward is perfect CG. So if I get a bigger battery, I just go back a little bit further, and I've got CG marks under there to remind me. Go ahead and move this big drop tank so I'm not handling it. All right, in regards to the receiver, okay, as you can see, I've got the 7-channel Limit RX receiver. That very top, see where my index finger is, right there at the very top, is that little yellow pigtail plugged into that 7th channel, the very top, or the label side of the receiver. That's the top of the receiver. That is where I plugged in the thrust reverse, which does work, and that is on my 7th channel. Okay? And then the next channel down, or is channel 1, is throttle, and then one aileron, and the next one's elevator, the next one's rudder, and then gear is on channel 5, and then channel 6 is the second aileron. Okay? And then back to channel 7 is where I plugged in that thrust reverse. All right, now let's show you how that looks on your transmitter. This is the Spectrum NX10. Okay. What you're going to do as far as channel assigned, okay, with channel assigned, I like using this switch here for my braking. So aux 2 is you're going to change that to whatever button you want to use for your thrust reverse. And if you look at the screen, you'll notice that aux1, which would normally be flaps, is NA. And then, of course, aileron is NA because you've got that second elevator or aileron plugged in there. Okay, so whenever you're setting up the aircraft type, it's going to be, you're going to pick flaperons. Okay, and that automatically blocks those two out. Okay, so let's look at our servo setup or my rates. Okay, by the book, it said the high rates on aileron will be 100%, and I like 30% expo. Okay, by the book, elevator high rate is 75. I like 30% expo, and then rudder high rate is 100, and I like 30% expo. So let's go back. Okay, low rate is 80, and on rudder or on elevator, sorry, low rate's 55 with 30% expo, and then a rudder low rate is 80 with 30% expo. I like 30% expo. Okay, now let me show you how what that translates to on the plane. How that graphically looks. All right. This high rate aileron, that's 100%. Low rate aileron, 80%. Okay. High rate elevator, low rate elevator. Okay. High rate rudder, low rate rudder. Okay. Now, just to tell you, I picked a difference for the mid rates because low rate was 55 on elevator and high rate was 75. I picked 65 as my mid. High rate on aileron was 100, so 90 is my mid. High rate on rudder was 100, so 90 is my mid. And like I said, and then 65 is my mid for my elevator with 30% expo on everything. Now, let's look at flap settings. Remember, we set it up as flaperons. Okay? So, in the flap system, now this is just how I'm setting it up. I may change it at the field, but I'm not working any elevator mix-in. It doesn't call for any in the book. Okay, I'll have to fly it first, and I'll more than likely will put a flight mode in, and then I'll use a flight mode for that. But I'll put a link to BD Tennessee's video on how to set up flight modes for flapped elevator mix, and I'll show you. But this is just what I'm starting with. Okay, flaps up, of course, nothing. Okay, takeoff flaps, I've got a -30, and then landing flaps, a -75, and a 2-second deployment. So just to look at that, flaps up, takeoff flaps, landing flaps. And if you look in high rates, still got, that's with landing flaps in, I still got a lot of aileron authority. So, all right. Timer will be set for 3.5 minutes the first time that I go, and then I'll check it from after that. And then if I can get 4.5 minutes out of this, then great. But I'm not expecting to. We'll go ahead and take the rest of these missiles off. I'm going to leave the end missiles on. Every video I see of this thing flying, it shows leaving the end missiles on. So, and I rarely fly with the missiles anyway. They create so much drag. All right. Like I said, CG is right there, is marked. 60 millimeters back from the leading edge. Here, where the root, where it wing joins the fuselage. I'd be willing to bet it's at the end of that plastic structure there. Pretty much. So you can see the CG right there. See up there my finger is, see the word CG? Okay, so put my finger on here, and yeah, that feels pretty good. All right, so we covered CG, we covered rates. Like I said, I don't have a gyro receiver in here. This is just a simple 7-channel. Got a good, where I got one aileron or one antenna going straight down and one going straight back, so they're at 90 degrees. I showed you how to hook up your thrust reverse and your open channel there, 7th channel. I showed you how to how to hook up the flaperons. This XT90 connection is fairly, I mean, it doesn't sit in there real well. So more than likely, I'll either wrap it with a piece of tape or something to keep it from coming undone in flight. But I need to find I got an adapter around here somewhere in my chaos to where that EC5 to XT90 is very, very secure. Now I may just change this to an EC5, but you know, if an adapter will do the job, then I'll just leave the adapter in there. So, all right, well there you go. Can't think of anything else. Like I said, I don't. You know, you can set your and trim. Oh yes, that's right. See the elevator? I talked about I wouldn't hook up the elevator until I got there. You see the bottom? See the bottom of those elevators? How they're even with the top structure of the fuselage. That's how you want them to. Once you put on your elevator linkages, adjust them back and forth until both of your elevator surfaces are level on the top. Okay. And what I mean by that is they're level along the top here. Okay. Not the bottom, but the top there. Now that's the way you want that to be. All right. Thrust reverse. Here's going this way. Okay. Going the other way. Okay. So thrust reverse works. So, anyways, I don't know what else to say other than we've covered CG, we've covered rates, we've covered where to set up your elevator at, level across the top, how to hook up the thrust reverse, how to assign a channel, what my flap settings, what I'm going to start with, what they're going to look like, what my rates look like, and we've covered CG. So that's CG, radio rates, and CG. Everything is covered. I'm not going to be putting no step stickers on because I'm just not that patient. And put your 5,000 all the way forward in the battery tray. Plenty of room for a larger battery. And the next thing we need to do now is just get this bad boy out and fly her. All right, well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends. And then T-7A Air Force Trainers.